I'm old, I'm overweight, I'm unfit, and I've got some medical challenges. So I've got to sort myself out. And the way I'm going to do that is by cycling. I've set myself a challenge of riding 350 kilometres, mostly off-road, around King Alfred's Way in 5 days. And to be honest, I'm a little bit daunted by that. I'm not sure if I can do it. So let's find out. So I'm 60 years old and I retired a few weeks ago, having spent the previous 12 years working from home, sat behind a computer for 50 to 60 hours a week in a very stressful job. All my fitness went out the window and I put on a lot of weight. I got up to 116 kilos with a BMI of 39 and developed sleep apnea, which puts me in the category of morbidly obese. So that is why I need to sort myself out. When I was younger, I used to do a lot of outdoor activities, a lot of caving. I walked across Iceland, I cycled across the Pyrenees, and the last thing I did was 1999 when I cycled coast to coast across Scotland off-road. So I think cycling is probably going to be the best thing for me to try and shift some of this weight and get some of this fitness back. The last time I went on a multi-day cycling adventure was 27 years ago when I cycled across Scotland coast to coast off-road with my good friend Andy Goddard, who was also the best man at my wedding, and it was an absolute ordeal. Andy Goddard's also known by the nickname Alien because of his tall, slender, otherworldly appearance. He looks like he's just come down to earth in a spaceship, and his caving and cave diving ability was legendary, out of this world. So the nickname Alien stuck. But we didn't really know what we were doing. We had a guidebook with some reprinted Ordnance Survey maps in it, and we set off 7 days, mostly off-road, and we had an absolute ball. It was hard work though. Scotland in May, you get a mix of weather, sunshine, rain, wind, we had it all. But we kept going and enjoyed some most fantastic scenery. It's an incredibly pretty route. I'd recommend it to anyone. Starting in Kyle of Lochoush and finishing at Montrose. Scotland coast to coast was really hard route. A lot of off-road, a lot of quite difficult off-road as well, with sections where you have to push the bike, and a real challenge. So that's kind of my last experience of multi-day cycling, and I was a lot fitter, a lot younger, and most importantly I weighed 30 kilos less than I weigh now. Taking on 5 days of cycling off-road around King Alfred's Way is going to be a real challenge for me. I just don't know if I've got the fitness. I know you can always ride a bit slower, but it's still averaging 75 kilometres a day. And that is going to be a real challenge. Cycling across Scotland, we stayed in B&Bs and hotels. So we travelled relatively light, and in order to make King Alfred's Way a little more achievable, I'm going to do the same thing. Stay in hotels, stay in pubs, and not have to carry the camping gear. I love camping, but I think I need to be realistic about what I might be able to achieve. So I make it a little easier on myself. The challenge is hard enough as it is. I'm really not sure I can get round. I've decided to do the King Alfred's Way in 5 days, and I've got a couple of months to get ready. I know that if I set off today I just wouldn't be able to complete it, so I need to do some proper training, some preparation, and I think for something like this, it's about hours in the saddle. I reckon it's probably about 30 hours of cycling, or around 6 hours a day with 2 to 3 hour stops. So 9-hour days, 6 hours of which are spent actively cycling. So I need to get myself from where I am now, doing day rides, enjoying myself, up to being able to ride six hours a day in the saddle, 5 days in a row, which seems like a huge leap. But that's the goal, that's the ask, and I'm hoping that by committing to do King Alfred's Way, it'll give me the motivation to get out on the road and put the miles in. We will see. Well, I'm really pleased. One of my oldest friends from school, Tim Williams, has agreed to come and cycle the King Alfred's Way with me. I've known Tim since we're in primary school, so for over 50 years. And we've done loads of things over the years together. We went caving together, we've been walking and camping and cycling and climbing mountains. We went to university, we started caving at the University Caving Club together. So we've got a lot of history. It's been quite some time since we've been on any kind of multi-day adventure, so it's a huge unknown for both of us. Tim's done a lot more cycling than I have over the last few years, particularly during COVID lockdown. He managed to cycle well over 10,000 kilometres in a year, which to me is an astronomical number. I don't think I've ever cycled more than 1,000 kilometres in a year in the last 25 years. So an order of magnitude fitter cyclist than I am. I'm used to working 10-12 hour days, and having given up work now, you'd think I'd have a lot of time on my hands. But the reality is that getting fit and training and preparing for a cycling adventure takes a lot of time. Just getting the bike ready, sorting all your stuff out, planning the rides, and then getting out and spending 6-8 hours a day riding. It's a full day. It's definitely a full-time job. And to give this much commitment to cycling and to hold down a full-time job, it's just not possible. So I am really fortunate to be in the position where I just don't have to work at the moment. It's April now. I'm going on King Alfred's Way in June, so I've got a bit of time. I need to get out there, put the miles in, and with any luck, I should be fit enough to be able to get round the 5-day courses without exploding. It's not a given. I'm quite worried. Already had the first mechanical challenge on this trip. I should be taking my flat bar gravel bike on the King Alfred's Way, so I thought I'd best get it refurbished and sorted out, and in doing so I found that the rear brake pistons had seized, so I'm not able to ride it at the moment until that's sorted out. So I'm out on my trusty 1990s mountain bike, the very same bike that I used to cycle across Scotland, so it's given me some good vibes. But the fact of the matter is, it's a big old steel lump. So the plus side of that is it's still working after 30 years. Downside is it's heavy old bike on 26-inch wheels and an old 8-speed rear cassette. It's not the easiest bike to be cycling up the hills, but I'm seeing that as a positive. I need to be training to get fit, so it's just added resistance, which will help me get fitter faster. It's 2 weeks since I booked the accommodation for King Alfred's Way, so I'm definitely going, and I'm really looking forward to it. And that's made me crack on with my training. It's given me the catalyst, the spur I need to get out on the bikes and do some miles. So I'm making this video today for two reasons. Firstly, it's a little introduction into the thought processes and planning that go in to a trip like the King Alfred's Way. And secondly, once you say you'll do something, you'll then got to go and do it. And so really putting this video up, explaining the preparation, really is going to help with my motivation when I actually get on the King Alfred's Way. And I know there are going to be days where it's a bit tough and I'm going to be struggling to get up the hills and the weather might not be brilliant. And just knowing that I've said I'll do it to a lot of people will just help me focus on getting the job done. So it's about 6 weeks training and then hopefully a jolly trip.